It's the most appalling tragedy. I want to obviously send our sympathies to the family, but also to her colleagues, because it will affect absolutely everyone. She, like me, was a new member of the intake last year, and we're all still getting to know each other, and you just don't think of this sort of thing happening. She's got 2 young children, she was a mum, and just we've got to help and support them, and I really take my hat off to everyone who enters politics, particularly mums who get involved, so our sympathies are with them. Absolutely the right comments. I mean, it's something we should all be pushing. I mean, I think in Billy Crystal's Muhammad Ali eulogy, it was building bridges, working together. That's what we all should be doing. But also, it's respecting each other's views. You've got to learn to be able to have an argument and then sit down and be friends afterwards. That's what life's all about, is togetherness.
Obviously, my original thoughts was one of shock and one of horror. Obviously, Jo Cox, the MP, was out doing her duty, was out meeting her constituents and doing a good job as far as I'm concerned, and yet her life was taken away from her yesterday. She leaves a family behind, she leaves a husband behind, and obviously leaves devastation right throughout her own constituency, which I think is a shame, and my thoughts and sympathy has to go to her family and obviously to her children, and I passed my condolences on to the Labour Party yesterday as soon as I heard the news. Well, I mean, there's been threats been put upon my own life, for example, in the past. I know that in the past history that members of Parliament and members of elected representatives have been shot and seriously injured, and people have been given death threats as well. My own brother, who is an elected representative, was shot. An individual was shot dead at his own home. So, I mean, suffering goes right through, and we thought that was a thing of the past. But I think when we looked at Jo Cox's incident yesterday with regards to the brutal attack on her, I think that sends shockwaves right throughout the system, and we can do nothing else but send our sympathy and with their family, but we have to get on with their work. We're elected to represent people. People put us where we are. People expect that representation, and that's what we have to do. So whilst there's fear, and there can be fear at some stages, we have to continue to move on, and we know as elected representatives, because we are elected, people support us, and people support us doing that job. So the vast majority of people want us to continue to do that.
It's horrendous, and I think the outpouring of grief that there's been, not just amongst her friends and family or her constituency, the wider Labour Party, but right across the country, people recognise that it's completely inappropriate, that anyone but a young mother should be subjected to such a brutal attack, to lose her life and lose all the hope and aspiration she had, not for herself, but for all of those who supported her and trusted in her. Yeah, I mean, we were all part of the same intake in 2015, and so we would have attended induction sessions together, and then gone through the same hoops of trying to establish ourselves and getting involved in parliamentary debates and so on. But somebody who was approaching politics and approaching life with hope and aspiration, and that was cut from her yesterday, and that's a true tragedy for all of those who knew her and loved her, but all of those who looked to her for guidance and support.